So it's after 4 o'clock, and I thought I would go out for a walk while it's still light enough, because it's January and there's the sun goes down so early, partly because we have a high horizon. Right before I get into the glue book, I wanted to show you something. I am so excited about this. I just published some notebooks with my watercolors as covers. Okay, this is me, but I think they're pretty, and I like to do pretty things. So they have 120 pages lined, very handy. And these beautiful covers, which you can also find on in my shop, some of them as printable wall art. It's a project that I'm working on, and you know, more and more will come. But I wanted to show you these. So they're wraparound covers. That means the art goes right around like that. And these are my own watercolors. So there's another one. They all have names, and I just forget what they all are. This, I think, is Flower and Dot. This is Bright Day. This is In the Rose Garden, which is pretty loose watercolors with lots of color, which is my style. This one is with the palm fronds and the flowers, and I put a different binding on that one, something that just blends in with them. And this one is called Flower Explosion. I wanted to share that with you. The links are below for all of them if you're ordering from the US or Canada, and they're also available to order from anywhere in the world. And so here's your new journal. If you're a journaler, or if you want to have a pretty book to use as a glue book, because you can just cover all the pages with your pictures, or you can use it as sort of a journal glue book mixture, and you know, put in a few things like, you know, pretty stuff. Let me find something here. If you want to just add stickers or pieces of ephemera and then journal around it, that's always really fun too. And so there you are. I hope you love them. I sure do. I'm pretty excited about them. So check the links below. Now let's begin with the glue book. Okay, to start with, these are the pages I'm working on. It's in this book that I've been working on for some time. And I'm kind of excited because I don't have that many pages left. Well, a few. And it's nice to kind of get towards the end of something. But of course, it gets fatter the more you go along, because that's just the nature of it. You put a lot of paper onto the pages, and that's going to happen. So I'm going to clip this corner down just to make it flatter for me to work on. And I wanted to show you, or I should say, I want to show you the new papers that I have. These are my own design. It's called Hey Cupcake. So you'll find it in my store at summerbaystudio.com. Just click on the shop tab there, and you'll see what more goes with it as I go along. But it's got this kind of paper in different sizes, and like a 8.5 by 11, which is what most of us use, and then a 12 by 12, and also the tiny hearts. And as Valentine's Day is just around the corner, I thought I would do the tiny hearts as my page, as one of my pages. Maybe I think I'll do the other one as the other page. So to begin with, I need to make this fit. And I think I want to take off some of this edge. So I'm going to line it up against this board here, even though this, there we go, that makes a little bit more sense. And just take that edge off. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I just don't need a bunch of extra white paper. And I printed this on a little bit heavier stock, paper stock. So that makes it a little bit, you know, a little bit firmer, which is fine. I think I will take this off as well, just to get more hearts. More hearts are better. Important to hold the ruler down hard, otherwise it'll slip out and you get a mess. And I'm speaking from experience. Okay, let's do the measuring. I think I better take it. See where this line of hearts goes? I don't want them half there, so I'm going to just bring it in a little bit here, and that'll help it to the book to fold better, the pages, you know, and that one too. That way I'm not cutting off any hearts or anything. So using my same method, just line it up against this board. There's my fold line, like that. And to be honest, if it's not perfect, I'm not fussy about that. It's a glue book. It's not a Da Vinci or anything. So there's no right or wrong way, and there's no such thing as a mistake. So the idea in this kind of thing is just to have fun with it. So I encourage that all the time, as you know. There. So there's one page. Get those ones out of my way, and I will do the other one. Might as well do it at the same time. Okay, so this one has this little edge from printing. It's a little bit harder to tear that off because it's so hard to hang on to. I think I'll use scissors for that one. Or wait a minute, I'll use my cutter here. I haven't used it for a while, so I kind of forgot about it, but it looks like it'll be about right. Again, pressing hard because otherwise things jam up or they don't, you know how it goes. You might ask why I didn't cut the other one like this. The reason is I just never thought of it till now. So I'll just do this. So with the topic of sweetness, I'm not advocating more sugar, even though these are cupcakes and we all know that things like cupcakes have a lot of sugar in them. I'm not advocating that, and the big reason I'm not advocating that, I don't eat very much sugar myself, and my mom had diabetes in her older years for a long time before she recognized it. In fact, she was getting neuropathy in her feet, where the nerves in the feet were starting to, whatever they do, die or atrophy or something. And she kept complaining about burning feet. She said her feet just burned all night. And one day she was telling me about this, and I thought, you know, that's so weird that it hasn't gone away. It seems to be getting worse and whatnot. And so I started doing a little research online, and lo and behold, what comes up but diabetes. And I went, okay. So I phoned her up right away and I said, Mom, go to the doctor right now and get your blood sugar tested. I think you have diabetes. And she's like, oh, no. And several years before, she and I and my dad had gone to Wisconsin on a trip to see some of her relatives, because her parents originated from the cheesemaking area of Wisconsin, there in the north near Duluth, and emigrated to Saskatchewan in the 30s. Anyway, they're originally Swiss people, hence the cheese. Anyway, she wanted to take this trip, and while we were there, we discovered that several people in her family had diabetes and had died from complications of diabetes. And it's very serious. And as we all know, if we read the news or health information at all, it's becoming a bit of an epidemic. And the reason is sugar in all its forms. So I'm not going to go on a health rant or anything. But once I told Mom I thought she had diabetes. I said, you got to go to the doctor and get your blood sugar tested. And she goes, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And I said, Mom, this is serious. So a couple of weeks later, she actually went and did it. And sure enough, she had type 2 diabetes. Well, she always loved to bake, and she loved to eat her baking, and she loved lots of jam on her toast and things like that, you know. And those are just habits. So when you have a habit of sweet things, your body craves sweet things. I've known this for myself, that when I stop eating sweet things, after a couple of weeks, I can't eat anything sweet because it's just so sweet that it makes me gag. However, she discovered that she had diabetes for sure. Anyway, okay, I'll take a break from that thought. Here is the new product. We've got 6 different cupcakes. And again, not advocating. They're just cute. And this product line is called Hey Cupcake. I'll leave that one. Anyway, I put these on sticker paper. I printed them on sticker paper and I cut them with my CRICUT machine. So there's this size, and then I call these ones envelope stickers because they're the kind of thing you can pop on the back of an envelope or decorate. I always decorate envelopes when I mail anything. And I think it's just pretty stuff. More pretty stuff makes life better. That's my philosophy. So there's lots and lots of those. So there's the different sheets of paper like this, and then there's all these stickers and lots of things you can do with them. So I'm going to use some of them on this. The tricky part is deciding which ones. So I'll start with a couple of big ones. And is that all of them? No, there's one more. So let's, I think this one, let's see, which one stands out more? I think the chocolate one stands out more, so I'll put that over there. Yeah, anyway, so when the doctor told my mom she had diabetes, she was a determined woman. She was strong-willed and could be forceful, and she was a make things happen kind of person. Anyway, when she heard that news, she said, well, I'm not having that. What do I have to do? I think I'll put that one there. So the doctor, of course, said, you've got to change your diet, and I'll put you on this metformin drug. So she just went for it, like, I'm not having this. And she lost 30 pounds in no time. And basically, after some months, reversed her diabetes, which is admirable and I think is available to most of us. But you got to do it, okay? However, by that time she had neuropathy in her feet, and she went to a wedding of a cousin relative. I'm going to look for some little pieces that will go well with this. I have all these kind of new ones I got, and they're so cute. So what I'm looking for is things that are sort of sweet and that go with the color theme. So oh, this is pretty. I like that one. Anyway, she went to this wedding, and between the ceremony and the reception, she went with my niece back to where she was living. And here's the perfect one. And she tripped and fell because her feet were not working all that well. She tripped and fell. Unbeknownst to her, that's so cute. It's like a British phone box. she broke her upper arm, and then she finished going to the wedding and everything, not feeling well. Then she stayed in the city to visit my brothers, who both lived there. And we're talking an 85-year-old woman here. Talk about a person who just like does what she wants to do. And she had driven the 4.5-hour drive from the farm, where she was still living by herself, into Calgary to go to this wedding. That's so cute. Except for I'm not really keen on the skulls. Well, we'll see. Anyway, after that, she went to stay with my brother, and she got sick and was throwing up and thought it was the flu and stuff like that. And then after a few days, they took her to the hospital, and they weren't really sure what was wrong, so kind of sent her home. And what had happened was the upper arm breaks had caused so much inflammation in her system that it gave her heart attacks. So she had a couple of heart attacks. And finally, somebody clued in. She had to go back to the hospital. They took x-rays and put everything together and went, oh my goodness, this lady has had heart attacks and there's been damage to her heart. Those are nice. So all this went on. She went into the hospital. My sister went to visit her and said, Mom, you might never go home again. And she said, well, if it'll be what it'll be. If it's the Lord wants me to come home, I'm ready. Okay, I gotta figure something out here. I'm gonna put this one over here because it's busy. This background is busy, so it needs more solid things. And these ones are stickers as well, which I find very handy. I love stickers. Anyway, she went into the hospital and she never did come home. She went and stayed with my other brother for a little while. She went from one hospital, went to his place, and had another heart attack. She got up one morning and told my sister-in-law, I think I need to go to the hospital. I think I'm having another heart attack. Now, talk about presence of mind. That's what the kind of person she was. Anyway, they took her in, sure enough, and things were bad. So I won't go into all the details because it's not necessary, but she had the heart attack in August, like the first thing, the fall in August, and January 8th, she passed away. She never came home again. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you all that. Maybe as a cautionary tale. If you don't think diabetes is a big thing, or if you think you can handle all the sugar and that sort of thing, you might want to think again. Okay, let's put this on here again, just so it's not flipping around too much. I do like that rabbit, and it kind of goes with the brown. This one, so many choices. Look over this. Anyway, it was a very bad year because a lot of people passed away whom I love and who I was close to, people from my church. My aunt and uncle passed away within like a few months of each other. My husband's brother. It's like you think, make it stop. Somebody please make it stop. But in the midst of all that, and I would say in the midst of life in general, you have to find joy, because if you don't, it's too easy to sink into abject sorrow, and that's not a good place to be. All right, I didn't mean to be a downer. This is just I'm just kind of rambling, and this is what came out. So, cautionary tale, look after yourself. Cut back on sugar. I switched to stevia, which I like because it's extremely sweet. The thing about stevia, here's a tip. Use less than you think. If you tried it and you go, oh, I don't like the aftertaste, or it's kind of bitter or whatever, it's because you're using too much. So use less and then use less. And it has no calories. That will help you get over the sugar habit. And it also helps, you know, just go, okay, I obviously don't need all that sugar because this is actually giving me the sweet feeling that I want. And I know all about that. Sometimes you want to have something sweet. A lot of times it's just a habit. You know, I love chocolate, and sometimes, you know, I keep chocolate in the house. From time to time, I try not to, or, you know, I avoid doing that too much. And it's nice to have a little piece, you know, in the middle of the afternoon and you're feeling kind of hungry or whatever. Let me see. I want a little envelope here. I like, it doesn't have to be too pink. So let's see what we've got. I mean, it doesn't have to be all pink. I think that one's too busy. Something a little more solid. Oh, that's a postcard with Christmas stuff on it. That's not what I want. That one has a bit of a tone. Okay, let's go with that one. Anyway, I can easily get into the habit of just having a nibble of chocolate after lunch, in the middle of the afternoon, something like that. But it adds up, and what I found is a few pieces of chocolate is like 100 calories, and pretty soon, you know, you're eating a lot of stuff. I usually have dark chocolate, which it's not my favorite, but anyway, am I making any sense? I think the thing is, you can add sweetness to your life without it being food related. So how do you do that? How, especially in the midst of sorrow, how do you keep life feeling like it's sweet? Oh yeah, that guy looks nice there. Well, a sure way is to concentrate on what feels sweet for you. So what I do is I go, okay, what do I like to do? What makes me feel calm? What makes me feel happy? Now, I'm saying this, if you're in a serious depression, go see a professional, but also concentrate on the good things in life. So if you think, well, like for me, what makes me happy? Well, I like to read. So I read something that's uplifting. I think I'll put that one there. Or you can read the Bible. It's always uplifting. Read about Jesus. Or read a novel. Or, you know, little things that make you happy, like buy yourself flowers. Put another one of these. I know I could put, let's see, let's introduce a blue in here with the pink. Yeah, that looks nice. Spend time with people who make you happy and who make you laugh, especially. I used to have a friend who lives kind of far away, and we've kind of lost touch through all the, you know, stuff that's gone on. She was the most fun friend I ever had. She always made me laugh. Lots of people have asked how I keep track of my stuff, and sometimes it's a bit of a mess, as you can see at the moment. However, this is one of the ways that I keep track of stuff. These little bins, which I bought at a dollar store. So if I were to, I'd like to get a heart. Well, that's perfect. This is one of those wax seals. I want my pink hearts. Here's one that's not pink, but that might be a good choice anyway. Yeah, so this friend was so much fun to be with. We laughed a lot. And we cried a lot together too, because we understood each other and we enjoyed each other's company. And anyway, it's important to be with people who understand you, who don't criticize you, who are basically not toxic to you, don't judge you. You've got to look for places of kindness. And my church are great advocates for home groups. So they always saying, if you're not in a home group, join a home group. That's how you get to know people on a closer level, on a more intimate level. And it's wonderful because you do. You get to know close friends who are on your side. I don't want that one. I think that one's too busy. When the background is busy, you want some big blocks of color. And it's kind of like if you want to paint your living room red, you have to break it up with either windows or curtains or big paintings that aren't red, and then you can have that strong color in the background. So if the background is busy or is kind of like shouting, then you've got to look for things that break it up, and it can look fantastic. So there's a little decorating tip. I love home decor. It's my other thing. So this one's perfect for here. Anyway, the year that everything went sideways, and all those people passed away, people I cared about. The other thing that happened is my sister moved across the country. So she used to live 5 minutes away, and then she moved 5 hours flying away. But my husband and I went to see her and her husband that fall. So that's one of those things you add in even if you're in the midst of a difficult time. So difficult times can be all kinds of things. You lose a job, things aren't going well in your family. I don't need to probably list a bunch, but and just to say, difficulty is different for everybody. So what I find difficult, you might think is a piece of cake. And it depends on your personality and your background and all that kind of stuff. This looks nice tilted. And what you find difficult, I might kind of go, well, that's never been a problem for me. That does not matter. What matters is what you find difficult. I want to try one of these little baby ones. Just got to get the back off here. Put it right down here. It's so pretty. I love pretty things. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you probably already noticed that. I love pretty things. And I think, I kind of think, when you think about what you're called to do, especially creatively, I think part of what most creative people's calling is just to make the world more beautiful. Oh, here's my little thing. That would be perfect right there. Okay, out comes the glue. Let's put that over there. Don't need that. Anyway, this is a bit of a scattered kind of stream of thought. I wanted to just kind of bounce off the sweetness of a cupcake and take it into areas that are good for your health. So things like getting more sleep, being with people you love and who love you and who care about you. And if you don't have anybody near you who fits that category, well, join something where you can get to know people and make new friends. It's not hard. Just find something that you're really interested in, because all the like-minded people will be there. So for example, if you like glue books, you're one of my like-minded people. I think I want a little message like this. Where do I want it? Maybe that one's a bit too big. That's better. So here's an example. If you're crafty, which you probably are if you're watching me, find out who else in the area is crafty, or if there are any classes or craft groups or whatever. Once you start meeting people, other people know things, and then you start getting connected, and that's very important. I read a book recently about longevity, and it said the most important thing for longevity is close friends. It's being in community of some kind. And I have to say, being in church, like being hooked into a church, is probably the best. Now, if you're not a churchgoer, or you're frightened of church, or you've had a bad experience, don't let that stop you. I would suggest you go to a church where when you walk in the door, people welcome you. And when the service is over, people stand around and talk and visit and talk to you and don't ignore you. Because those good churches are out there. And also where the message from the pulpit is always positive. If it runs you down or if it makes you feel condemned, run out of there. Because not everybody has figured out that Jesus is good and kind, and God loves you, and He's for you. He's never against you. Some people have that kind of mixed up in their minds, just saying. Okay, I would like something little in here. There's this little heart. It's a bit of a color departure, I think. Kind of works, I guess. This one says memo, which in the context is a bit meaningless, but I like it down there anyway. This is what I found, and I've gone to church all my life. People who've never gone to church or have been hurt by church situations, you need to forgive those people because they didn't know any better. It's like when Jesus hung on the cross, and the people who were hanging him were taunting him and beating him and, horrible things. He said, forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they do. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand. And that's the same, that happens. So we're all kind of working it out as we go along through life, making it up kind of as we go along. Well, let's look at these little guys. They're cute. I just want something in that top corner by the bow so that the bow isn't sort of like out there. Let's see. Something like that. I like that. Let's do that one. I just don't want this big white edge on it. Anyway, that's my advice. And get into some kind of community where you feel comfortable and where people treat you kindly. Because kindness is so important. It might be a job situation, it might be a club situation, it might be the mums at the park with their kids. It could be anywhere or in anything. But don't wait for it to come to you. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, so to speak. But these are things that are important to me and that I love. And, I went through, during that period when so many of my loved ones passed away, a whole lot of my friends moved out of town. Like, I live in a small town. It seemed like everybody just scattered. People that I'd known for years and been friends with for years. Is this a sticker? I can't tell. Oh, it is. Look at that. I thought it was just a paper thing. Anyway, so many of my friends left town that I was suddenly bereft. It's like, I don't know anybody here. And then COVID came along and everybody had to stay home and our church closed down for good. And so we had to start over with a whole bunch of areas of life. And we did, and we can. And those kind of things are what makes life sweeter. Good times, sunshine and roses, and, buy yourself flowers or do something that makes you feel good. Love yourself. Love yourself. That's so important. There's my book for today. Don't forget to go over to summerbaystudio.com and find my new hearts and cupcakes. Isn't that pretty? It's just so pretty. I love it. And also, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this topic that I've been rambling about. I hit the like button. That does something to the algorithm that helps me out. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you stayed till the end, and I'll see you next time.